Right, we are doing a full-on mixed ability session today, so I'm literally going to be doing the exercises from easy kind of all the way up to advanced, so you're really going to pick which level is right for you. We are going to be doing our antenatal variations as well. Again, so if you are not antenatal, then don't worry about those variations and just stick on the exercise that we're doing. And if you are antenatal, just wait for me to maybe do a couple of repetitions of the first exercise, and then I'll give you your version straight away. All right, so if we're not already in the middle of our mats, let's just bring our feet all the way together, get our toes touching and our heels touching. Bring our hands onto our hips, and we'll start straight in with some little tilt for our lower back, just warming up the lower back. Tilt the pelvis forward, and then tilt that pelvis backwards. So we're going to try to really isolate, guys, that movement just where your hands are. So before your knees start to move, you've gone too far. If you feel your upper body start to move, you've gone too far. So it's really trying to keep that movement. And it might be that it's quite small, and that's okay. Really around that centre. So you're warming up the lower back and just starting to attach where you are in space to your brain, which may or may not be completely switched off today. Find that halfway point between the forward and backwards tilts, or where you know your neutral pelvic position is. Slide those fingers in and down an inch, so you can just feel that area, kind of just above the kind of nicker-elastic area, and then draw in the muscles underneath your fingers. So we should feel kind of real nice connection between the hip bones almost, and drawing those 2 points together. And then lastly, let's draw the pelvic floor up. So the back passage muscles, just give them a nice little connection. And only about half of your maximum squeeze. We're going to be doing it strengthening like you could hold it all day. So really working through the front and through that back passage. Now keep those hands just rested where they are. Roll the shoulders up to your ears. Pull the shoulders down, and then keep those shoulder blades glided down the back. Lastly, we're going to soften the rib cage. So imagine those 2 points at the base of your rib cage. Just draw them down slightly, shortening the distance between the ribs and your pubic bone. And you should feel extra kind of strength through the front of that tummy. So kind of using the arms almost to lock you into a really strong position. You can do a very simple rock weight forward onto your toes. So your feet are touching, your heels are touching, and now your heels are just lifting off the floor with all the weight through those toes. And try to really press your toes into the floor. If you're on a kind of carpeted area, it'll be a bit harder, a bit more balancy. But really try to work 50-50 through both the feet. So not too much dominating on your strongest side. Gently put those heels down, and then rock the weight backwards. Lift your toes up off the floor. So now all the weight's on those heels. Now just triple check the centre underneath your fingers, that pelvic floor, and those shoulder blades kind of actively being drawn down your spine whilst you keep those toes up. So the weight is now all on those heels. All right, let's go forward one more. So pressing through the toes, tiniest lift through those heels, just a tiny one. Really press through the toes. Now lengthen the back of the neck, bringing the chin in ever so slightly, and float yourself up as high as you can go on those toes. So you're really challenging your balance. Squeeze those heels together, squeeze those inner thighs together if you can. And then very slowly, gently lower yourself down. Fantastic, guys. Turn your toes out and then turn your heels out. And kind of let the body rest for a second. Good. Okay, let's just have a quick warm up of those feet. So as those feet are, look at them quickly in line. Yeah, inner arches dropped into the floor. So make them really flat foot, little platypus foot. And then very slowly start to lift the inner arches of those feet up. Roll almost onto the outer border of those feet. And then roll them in again. So really slow, so rolling through the ball of the foot towards the ball of the big toe, dropping the arches in, so naughty foot position, and then rolling the arches outwards. Again, still naughty positions. We're now resting on the outer border of those feet. Now we're going to come back in all the way, flat foot. Think about the pressure under the ball of your big toe. Now very slowly start to lift those inner arches of those feet up again. But stop when those big toe pads start to lift. That should be a really good foot position. Now press all those toes into the floor and press the heel into the floor as well. But the inner arches There's nothing there. All really, really lifted, really strong footed. Fantastic. Then we're going to do some squats. So really nice and easy knee bends. But what I'm going to get you to try to do this time is try to not change the pressure in your feet. So as you float the hands up, sit backwards and just drop the bottom. We want to try to keep it that the feet, no weight's going forward, no weight's going backwards. It's staying 50-50, front to back. And then again, as you stand up, equal pressure through the front and back of those toes. Let's go again. So nice and slow, because you're really thinking about the weight in those feet, the weight in the balls of the feet, the weight on the heels. If you're not sure, close your eyes. So if you're not sure, just close your eyes now and keep on going. So you're just focusing on the weight in your feet. Because what will happen is you'll A, dominate on your strongest foot. So you might put a bit more weight to the right-hand side if you're right-footed. Or you might drop your arches, you might put more weight through the toes, more weight through the heels. But we're going slow. We really want to attach your brain to your feet, just as our warm-up. So really, it's much slower than we normally would, but I tell you, it's going to be a lot more work through those calves, through those ankle joints. People are a bit off balance at the moment, yes, we really want to keep that in balance, attaching your brain. Okay, last one. You're going to go down to the bottom. Still keeping that weight even. Now, shoulders back, back of the neck long. Lift the ribs up a little bit. And then just slowly float the weight forward, lifting those heels off the floor. Beautiful. Then gently lower those heels down again, keeping the arches lifted. Lift the heels up. And then drop the heels down. So we're literally just doing a heel raise. And then a heel lower. Okay, without moving the body, so keep on going. Lifting those heels and lowering those heels. Keep on going. And again, we're just doing it slow. But it should be actually harder than when you do it really fast. Because really always think about the weight through those feet, left foot, right foot. As you put the weight on those heels, firmly press it into the heels. Lift and lower. That's slow. Draw the belly button in. Draw that pelvic floor up. Relax those shoulder blades down towards the spine. Let's do one more. Keep those heels up this time. And then very slowly, just stand yourself up. Heels are lifted. Lower them down. All right, gorgeous. All right, 2 shoulder rolls. Just start to loosen things up a little bit. 2 full arm circles. Again, just loosening things up a bit. Let's go into a mermaid stretch. So sinking through the knees. Side bend, reach up and look up as you breathe in to touch the ceiling. Breathe out to stand up in between. Breathe in, drop the knees, reach up, stand up, breathe out. 2 more, breathing in and out. Breathing in, don't forget to bend the knees, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, stay up there on the next one, stay up there, look at that. All right. Double check, you've got even weight for those knees again. You're not shifted side to side, hips are level. Now we're going to do 5 beautiful circles. So press the hand to the outside of your thigh to stabilise. Circle the hand down in front of you. Breathe in to reach the ceiling. Breathe out to continue the circle. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, down with that hand. 2 more, breathe in. Now follow the hand with your gaze. Let's get the breastbone moving as well. Last one, breathing out and breathing in, and then a really floppy, relaxed, stand up, shift up. Nice. Soften the knees, sink into that side stretch, and nothing shifts left to right. Then reach up to the ceiling as you breathe in. Breathe out, circle in front of you. Breathe in, reach the sky. Breathe out. Breathe, that's very Buzz Lightyear, wasn't it? Breathe out. Breathe in. 2 more. Breathing out. Breathing in. Last one. Breathing out. Big reach up to the ceiling. And a gentle stand up. Okay, you're going to get your band. So we're getting a loose band. Roll down to pick it up. Safely, please get to the top. Okay. So we're going to start off with an exercise that's very simple. We're going to do a dumb waiter. So I want you to hook the band over one wrist. Just because we're going to start off easy. Remember I said mixed ability, so you're going to put the band in if you want to. Feet firmly pressed into the floor, simple arms. Okay, open up the hands, relax those shoulder blades down, and then bring your hands back again. So there's a simple dumbwaiter, okay? Warming up those shoulders, but keeping the rest of the posture beautifully tall. Now, quickly, thread the other arm through. You want to go wrists, so just above the wrists. Same again. You won't go as far, but that's fine. Breathing out to open. Breathing in to close. So I got rolled there. Breathing out to open. Breathing in to close. Now that's simple again. If you want to just put it simple. What I'm going to get you to do is just do one arm at a time. So you're going to draw one hand out and in. Drawing the other hand out and in. Okay, keep on going. Breathing out to open. Breathing into close if you want to. Now the reason we're doing one arm at a time is because when I pull out on one side, the other hand's got to actually work quite hard to stop it from just travelling across with it. Yeah, so really got to work to pull it out. So look at your hands now. As you pull one hand out, don't move that static arm. So you're looking at your static arm each time. Don't let that static arm move. Last one to the side you didn't start on, and then to unhook that wrist. We're going to put in another exercise with it. Spine twist. So just turn the body, but your hips stay pointing forward. You don't move the whole body with you. Hips stay pointing forward. Just turn the chest, bring it back to the middle. That's it. Turn the chest, bring it back to the middle. Nice. Breathing out and breathing in. Breathing out and breathing. If you need to, you can sit down to help stabilize the torso, but I want you to work on that rotation strength. Breathing out and breathing. Let's put in the dumbwaiter. So with or without the band, if you turn to the left, open the left hand. Breathing out and breathing in. Yes, so you're pulling out to the side that you're turning to. Breathing out and breathing in. Nice. Breathing out and breathing in. But remember, we're not moving that static arm. So we're keeping it really kind of glued to our side. It should give us extra turn. And honestly, it should really make your brain work actually quite a lot. Breathing out and breathing in. Let's go for 3 more or 2 more depending on the side that you started on. Lots of shoulder work, lots of stabilization, and just unhook. And you should feel quite loose, yeah, quite tired through those shoulders already. Let's warm up. So just drop that in front of you. We're going to use it in a second. Okay, interlace those things in front of you. Turn the palms down. Roll the shoulders forward and look down at the floor. Reach those hands up and forward. Find that stretch between the shoulder blades. Now look up at the hands. Continue looking at the hands up to the ceiling as you breathe in. And then breathe out, just circle and finish. Gorgeous. And again, breathe in, look at the floor. Breathe out, hands to shoulder heights. Breathe in, look at the ceiling. Breathe out, circle down. Okay, 2 more. So remember, guys, we're focusing this in the upper back. Bum doesn't move. Yeah, we're not shifting the weight forward. We're not shifting the weight backwards. We're not leaning with the bottom. Just rolling up with the upper back. Gorgeous, lovely. Breathing in, look at the ceiling. Breathe out on the way down. 2 roll downs. Careful of the dizziness, please. All the way to the floor. Chin, shoulders. Sink through the vertebrae. Dangle if you need to. Again, if there's anyone dizzy in the room, you can use the hands to help walk you up. But everybody else, squeeze the glutes. Roll into your backwards tilt to start stacking the vertebrae. Shoulders, then head. 1 more. Breathe in at the top if you can. Breathe out, try to make the breath out last, all the way to the floor. Breathe in at the bottom, grab your band, and then roll ourselves up again. Pull those shoulders back and down. Okay, good. We're going to work on the triceps here, with or without the band. So, hold on to the band in one hand. We'll do it without the band, starting easy. We're going to soften the knees. So really just nice, easy, not too much pressure for the knees. You're going to flex at the hip, so straight back. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to bring those arms in line with our side. And all we're going to do is we're going to straighten out both arms behind us, like a ski jumper. And then bend the elbows in. But we don't drop the elbows too. The elbows stay high and in line with your back. So straighten the elbows. bend the elbow. So that is a little tricep extension. Now, honestly, you can work on that because it's obviously a little bit core, a little bit of posture, and still work on those triceps. However, let's get the arm off. So you're going to hold one band. You're going to hold the band, okay? One bit to your chest. And then we're going to stretch out behind us with one arm, bending it in front, letting it go loose. So breathing out to straighten, breathing in to come back. The other bit's just holding it to your breastbone. Breathing out and breathing in. Good. So we're going to do 5. So 4 and 5. Now just very quickly switch the hands over and then go to the other side. Breathing out to straighten the arm, breathing in to come back. 4 and in. 3. Remember, you haven't got to put the band there if you don't want to. Just do both arms at the same time. Work on the posture. Last one, and just stand up in between. Okay, good. So you shouldn't feel anything in the back. Just a little bit of tiredness in those arms. Okay, again, but a little bit harder if you want to. We get the posture and the balance working too. So shoulders back and down, holding it in one hand. Soften the knees. Bend the hips. Okay, if you want to do no band, fine. Or with the band, you're going to straighten one leg out behind you. Just a long leg. Good, okay, fantastic. All right, so we're going to have band up. You're going to stretch the same arm as the leg that's behind you. So one arm to your breastbone, shoulders pulled back and down. You're going to breathe out to pull the arm back. If you want to, you can lift the leg a little bit as well. And then bend the elbow, tap the foot down. Lift and straighten. Bend and tap. Okay. 3. Let's go for 6. 4. 5. Again, make it slow. It's all about the control. 6. Stand up in between. Nice. Okay, a little bit of control. Other hand to the breastbone. Bend the knees. Hinge at the hip. Stretch that other leg out behind you. Straighten the arm out behind you. Lift the leg if you want to, and then bend it in. 5 and in. So make sure you're bending the knee that you're standing on. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Lift that belly button away from the floor. 2. I think it's 1 for luck, but there we go. 1 for luck. And stand up. Okay, beautiful. Get with the band. Don't need it. Bow and arrow now. Hands up to the seat. Hands up to shoulder height. Roll the shoulders back and down. And pull back with one elbow. Turn and look over the shoulder. And pull and turn the breastbone without turning that hip. Reach forward. Pull back with the other side. And forward. Breathing out to pull back that bow. Breathing in to release. Last one, at the easy level, hands on hips. Everybody try it. 1 step forward, 1 stride back. Lift the back heel. Hands go back up to shoulder height. Roll the shoulders back and down. Set the center. Okay, we do 5 bow and arrows, with or without a lunge. So without, you just pull back, but you're a split stance, so it's still harder. If you want to, drop the knee and turn. Lift and straighten. Keep that back heel off the floor. 4 more. Breathing out, breathing in. If you don't want to put the lunge in, just step back to straight line standing. Absolutely not a problem. 2. I think I've got an extra one again. Never mind. 1. Lift, hands on hips. Relax the shoulders. Step in with the back foot, step back with the front, and start again on the other side. Step, step. Tall chest. I really want this snobby, posh chest and chin. Hands up, back heel off the floor. Breathe out. Drop the knee if you're going to. Breathe in to reach forward. Breathing out and breathing in. 4 more. We're going to do 6 in total. There we go. 3 more. Breathing out. And breathing in. Pelvic floor lift. So really work that back passage muscle, the I need a wee muscles. Hands on hips. Relax the shoulders. Step in. Step back. Done. Warm up, done. Okay, go to the edge of the mat. Facing the length of the mat. Fantastic, okay. You're going to roll down to the floor or just get comfortable, however you want to get there. Chin to chest, roll forward, sink down. Okay, walk to 4-point kneel. We're going to start off with a mobiliser. So really taking the load off and just getting things moving. So thread the needle. So just quickly check your feet and knees are hip distance apart. Lift that chest and pull the shoulders back. We're going to go for a level 1 to begin with. Take one hand off the floor. Thread it underneath your other armpit. Drop the shoulder. Bend the other elbow, but don't put the shoulder to the floor. And just reach low and as far away as you can. Push up and then to replace that hand. So really high in the chest in between. Drop the chest, twist the breastbone to the side. Breathe in to lift. Breathe out, thread. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, thread. Breathe in, lift. Keep on going. And we're going to try to keep your bottom over your hips. So don't sit back into the movement. Try to keep the bottom where it is and just twist through the back. It's just a much nicer mobiliser for your back. So starting off gentle, breathing out and breathing in. Now if you need to, for the wrists, you can come back to the fist in between, rather than being all the way down the wrist, that's fine. Just being a little bit nicer to those bits. Let's go last one at level 1. Now we're going to take it to level 2, so it's harder but actually just nicer. We thread first, same as before, but we now lift, continue turning, take the hand to the shoulder, lift the elbow and the gaze up to the ceiling. You're still leaving your bum where it is, and then thread same arm, same side. Breathing out to thread, breathing in to lift, breathing out to thread, breathing in to lift. Alrighty, 5 more. Let's make it a really lovely mobiliser. I'm going to absolutely beautifully and kind of safely, calmly mobilise your back to begin with, because the next exercise we do after, I'm going to ask it to be a bit more stable. So let's loosen you up, ready for the next bit of strength we're going to impart through it. Okay, last 2. Again, gaze and elbow to the ceiling, drop the chest and then lift that chest. Now to put the hand down, just reset. Make sure you're feeling comfy, yeah? So nothing too crazy on the wrists or the knees. Thread through as you breathe out to the other side. Breathe in to lift, bring the hands to the shoulder. So sometimes you'll see this exercise being done where the whole hand goes up. But honestly, too many people let their shoulder blade kind of rock into the wrong position, which just becomes quite unsafe for the shoulder. So kick the hand to the shoulder itself, and actually, it doesn't take anything away from the exercise, it only adds safety for the shoulder joint itself. Let's go for 2 more. Dropping the chest, lifting the chest, bending the elbow, straightening the elbow, and give yourself a quick rest position, as low and as long as you want to take it. Okay, so whilst you're there, I'm going to quickly talk you through the next exercise. We're going to do a mountain climber set. I'm going to show the easy version first, and then you're going to build up as much as you want to go. So we're going to start off 4-point kneel. Now, a mountain climber, it's an exercise. Imagine you're climbing up a mountain, yeah? So think rock climbing a little bit. So the very easy version, this might be for the antenatal guys in the room, depending on how tummy's feeling today. It's bringing one knee into the chest and then just straightening it out behind you, okay? Just bringing it in and straightening it out. Don't move the back, okay? Do like 5 to each side, 5, 5, 5, 5. There's the easy version. Everybody else, you're going to try, if you want to go into the full plank version. So we go leg out, stretch behind us. Lift the chest, lift the belly button, pull those shoulders away from the ears. Lift that second leg up again. Antenatal can do this too if you want to. Knee comes up, Don't move the back, leg goes out. Other leg, knee comes in and out. Okay, 8 more. However, if you want to, you can do this on the elbows. So it's up to you. You've got 6 more to do. You're not moving your back, whichever level that you're doing. You're not moving the shoulders. The shoulders are away from the ears. You've got this lovely lifted chest. Back of the neck is long. Lift the crown of your head to the ceiling. Once you finish your 8, just sit back. Quick rest. Shoulders pull back and down. So you've got 4-point kneel, not too much pressure. Full plank. Yes, it can be a lot on the wrists, but lots of good stuff on the shoulders. Or forearms if you need it. Straight line, stable back. Let's take it a little bit more into abs by trying to twist through the lower body. So, easy version. Everybody go into it anyway. 4-point kneel. So you take the knee across the body and actually let the chest kind of turn into it. And then straighten it out behind you straight. So bring the knee in, tuck the body across, and then straighten it out. And then you go 5 on each side. Full plank. One leg out. Lift the chest. Engage the center, second leg. Knee comes across to the opposite elbow. Turn the breastbone towards it. You can look over that shoulder as well before you put that foot back down again. Straight line. Knee comes in, across. Come back again. Keep on going, keep on going. If you need to, elbows, same. It's a little harder when your elbows are on the floor, but you can do the twist if you want to. Keep on going. Let's say 4 more to do in total. Breathing out to twist, kind of breathing in to come back. So level 1, 4-point kneel, simple, controlled, a bit of flow. Full plank if you want to take it into that really high level strength. It's up to you. We're starting up, we can do whatever we need. When you finish that last one, again, sit back on those feet and a little child pose stretch. Good. Rotate the wrists whilst you're there, kind of really let them completely ease off. We're going to ask them to do a little bit more later on. But we're going to go for some hip twists next. Okay. So antenatal in the room. This is your chance then. You're actually going to be standing for this one. So get yourself standing as comfortable as you want to. Everybody else, gently turn over and lay on your back. Okay, we're going to bring our feet hip distance apart, heels close to the bottom, long legs. Now set the centre. If you're standing, set the centre. Everybody have your hands on your hips, laying or standing, and pull those shoulders back and down. Now, if you're laying on your back, engage your centre. You're going to let one knee drop gently out to the side, and you're going to stop when you feel your hands and your hips start to twist. And then you slowly bring it back in again. If you can, look at your static knee and make that knee not move anywhere. So alternate the knees. Start off simple. Let's keep on going. If you're standing, we should already be in a really strong position. We're going to go tiptoe one foot. You're going to very gently let that knee roll out to the side. No turning of the torso, okay? So that's going to be stabilizing that hip. Bring that knee in. Heel down. Lift the other heel. Turn the knee out. Turn the knee in. Heel down. So we're going to aim to be doing this movement with as limited kind of rocking and swaying around as you can. So alternate sides to begin with. It's going to get harder, so keep on going. Everybody else, grab your ball. Good. Shoulder bridge up. Put the ball underneath your bottom. Drop the bum down. Hands are still on your hips. Same exercise. Lower and tuck those ribs in. Draw them down to your pubic bone. And then lift that pelvic floor. So get real lots of strength through the front of that tummy. We're still looking at the knee that's not moving. So as you roll the knee out and roll the knee in, you've now lost some stability.
because that ball is making you very wobbly. Okay, keep on going, alternating sides.
If you're standing, remember anyone can do this variation. Slowly grab your ball. If it's on the floor, don't get too dizzy picking it up. You're going to pop it underneath one of your feet. So again, we're just really starting to destabilize your torso, your pelvis. So you're going to stand next to your ball, pop your foot on it. So your feet are still basically in line. Lift the shoulders, engage the pelvis. You're going to turn the knee out and turn the knee in without kind of losing and going crazy on that ball, because we're going to lose some stability. The more you press into the ball, the harder it is. So if you want to squash the ball, it's going to be harder. 6 on each side, please.
Okay, if you are on the floor, take the ball away. We're going to go hip twist level 3. We're going to skip up a level. So we're hip distance apart. Single leg tabletop, one leg, just one leg. Make sure that leg is lovely and flat, parallel with the floor. Looking at the knee, we're going to turn the knee and the foot out. Don't move the other knee, and then gently bring it back in. Same leg 6 times. Breathing out to turn, breathing in to come back. But think of the elbows, think of the pressure in the shoulders, think of the pressure in your torso. We don't want the torso to be doing so much work. Okay, we're going to stabilize the torso and just let the knee roll. If you are standing, if you want to take it a little bit harder, we're going to go up to basically a standing hip twist, level 3. Shoulders back and down. Rock the weight across to one side. Keep the hips level. Float the knee up. Don't worry if you need to have like some stability near a sofa or a wall. It's absolutely fine. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try and take the knee and the foot out to the side. Bring it in. Keeping the knee up at hip height, because it's going to kind of easy to drop it down. Try and keep it up. 6 on each side. Just don't turn the torso. It's just the leg. Nothing else is allowed to move. Okay, if you're on the floor and hip twist level 3 is okay. The ball comes back into play. And again, guys, take the time. If I'm jumping ahead and you haven't quite finished the repetitions, I've got time. It doesn't matter. Okay. If you have finished, shoulder bridge up again. Pop the ball back underneath your bottom. You're still using the hands on hips and the elbows into the floor to feel, am I doing it properly? And same exercise applies. Engage the center, single leg tabletop. Breathing out and breathing in. Again, because that ball is there, you've lost the stability. Your hips are going to want to really swivel around on that ball. So just work really gently and nicely into 6 on each side.
Last but not least, if you're standing and you've done 6 on each side and it feels okay, or you just want to make it a little bit harder, your hands are now going to come off your hips. They're going to go all the way up to the ceiling. You can melt the shoulder blades down into your back pockets, and you're going to work into that same level. You can do the level 1. You can do it with the ball, or you can go to hip twist level 3. Because those hands being up in the air, it's going to be much easier to swivel around on that torso. Because when your hands are there, you're kind of locked in. So arms up, shoulders down. 6 on each side, and your aim is to keep those hips pointing forwards. Good, okay. When you're done, whichever level it is you've done, we're going to go roll on the side if you're on your side, or sit down to the floor if you're standing. And we're going to come up, just everyone to a little seated position. Got my colourful socks on today, because it's been a very miserable day where I am. And we're going to do some hip openers. So when you finish, there's no rush, because we're not going to necessarily do reps of this one, it's just a looser. So take your hands behind you, just behind your bottom, and basically just lean back, kind of come on the beach, you know, getting some rains. Pull the shoulders back and down, but lift the chest. And we're going to start off by just letting the knees just drop to one side. Don't move the chest, don't move the torso. Bring it back and then just let them fall to the side. And what you do, you'll feel kind of where you're stiff. Is it this knee that won't drop down? Is it this knee that won't drop down? And then compare side to side. So which side feels stiffer, you know? So for me, when I drop my right leg across, it just doesn't go down as far. I'm a bit tighter in that hip. But the bum stays on the floor to start off with. Just opening the hips side to side. Turn the hands and elbows where you feel most comfortable. Lean against your sofa if you want to. Lean against your Swiss ball if you want to. Now, when you let the knees fall across the other side this time, you're going to push this top knee down. You're going to really give it a bit of welly towards the floor. Push it towards the floor. Stretch out that hip and then release it. And then roll across to the other side. And then drop and push that knee. Yeah, good, that whole leg down. You should feel a bit of a better stretch on that side there. Relax it. Back to the middle. Now bring your heels back close to your bum, because I bet lots of your feet have started to run away from you. Let's go 4 more. Let the knees drop. Push that top knee down. Release. Roll the hips. Push the top knee down. Release it. Roll the hips. Good. 3 and 4. Now go across to the side. Turn the body. And then stretch. Just touch the hands behind you. Bring the hand back. Rotate across. Turn the body. Touch the hand behind you. 4 more. Just knees, torso, arm back, chest back, knees back. And just kind of separating that body out. Loosening some stuff up again. We're going to go scissors next. So there's a lot more work through those abdominals. So let's give them the last little chance to loosen. Come back to the middle. Rest. Okay, antenatal. Please sit yourself on your board, your Swiss board. Everybody else, you're going to go back to laying on your back. This time we're going to go ball under the head for comfort. So I want that neck to be working relatively hard into that posture. Arms long by our sides. Okay, scissors level 1. Most of you will be fine with this, but let's go through the motions. Pull the shoulders back and down, engage the center. Now really focus your attention on the gap in your lower back. When you float one leg up to single leg tabletop, close your eyes if you need to. Don't move the pelvis. Put it down. Don't move and change that gap in the lower back. So when that other leg lifts into tabletop, again, nothing to move. So level 1, scissors, is the single leg lift and lower. If you're seated, I will demonstrate in a minute, but just float the foot off the floor and put it down again. All right, level 1. Now, one leg up. Deepen the abdominal connection, i.e. glide that rib down to the pubic bone. Lift the pelvic floor as the second leg lifts. And you can literally just put the foot down one at a time. Still no movement here in that torso. One leg, 2 legs, no change in the lower back. 1 leg down, 2 legs down, no change in the torso. If that is okay, take both legs up. Stay there and toe tap. Thigh drop, tap the toe, lift. Thigh drop, tap the toe, lift. Keep on going, guys, all right? Now with a breath, if you can. Level 1, level 2, or level 3. If you are seated, you are still going to be as tall as you can. We're going to think about a lower back arch, the same as if you're laying on the floor, and we're doing a foot lift, and a foot lower, and a foot lift, and a foot lower, but you're not allowed to shimmy around. You've got to keep everything really stable, and that lower back position, keep it nice and tall. Keep with that breath. Now, especially if you're seated on that ball, work in that pelvic floor as well, please. If you are laying on the floor, rest for a second. We're going to increase the speed of the movement of the legs and the breath, if you want to. So level 1 is just 1 leg. Level 2 is 1 leg up, 2 legs up, then again down. That's scissors level 2. Level 3 is our toe taps. Level 4 is tap the toe down, everybody, if you want to go, and then quick switch them over. So there's no kind of pause. Switch, switch. Good. Now we're going to do a breath in through 2 leg movements and a breath out through 2 leg movements. So
keep on going. So it's really starting to work endurance, yeah? Don't let those knees tuck in. Don't get lazy. We're not doing the can-can, and we're not Jane Fonda, okay? Lock in a thigh movement, breathing in through 2, breathing out through 2. Now this is endurance, so keep on going. With the scissors in seated, we're going to increase that lever by floating the knee up, stretching the leg away, coming back, and then putting the foot down again without rolling off the ball like I just did. Engage the center, drop the shoulders, float the foot, stretch the leg, back in and down. And you know what, guys, if you want to, you can always do that in standing as well, just to mix it up a little bit. You know, it doesn't matter on this one. It's about keeping yourself stable. Now, if you're on your back, you should still be going. Whichever level it is, level 1, 2, 3, or 4, 2 more repetitions, please. So whichever level you're doing, 2 more repetitions. And rest, hugging the knee into the chest, and just sitting slouched if you need to, if you're on the ball. Okay, last exercise we're going to do on our backs is a shoulder bridge. For those in seated, we're basically going to work on that mobility of the spine. If you're laying on your back, please put the ball now in between your knees. Have nothing underneath your head, and then lengthen those arms down by the side. So we're going to shoulder bridge level 1. Everybody seated or laying down. Tilt the pelvis under, backwards tilt. And then rock the pelvis forward, forwards tilt, arching the lower back. And just start. And again, you can put your hands on your hips if you want to, just by again learning, relearning that lower back position. Okay. If you are on your back, go into the backwards tilt. Press the lower back into the floor. Squeeze the glutes, peel the vertebrae up. Stop when the rib cage starts to move, and then gently peel down. There's our level 1. Breathing out to lift. Breathe in to hold the position. Breathe out to lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. I will show you level 2 as well. Roll up to the top. Keep the hips level. Stretch one leg away. Don't drop the ball. Put the toe and foot down. Stretch the other leg away. Keep the hips level. Don't drop the ball. Foot down. And then roll down in between each 2. Keep on going. If you're seated, we're going to continue this mobility. And we're going to do this by floating our hands up. We're going to roll our chin down and our shoulders forward. Without moving the weight off the bottom of the ball, reach forward. And then we're going to restack the vertebrae one at a time. So we come back, flatten off the lower back, lift the chest, pull the shoulders down, and then lift the head. So we're doing the same thing as laying on our back, just mobilizing that spine. Rolling down, shoulders slouch almost. Roll and then reach forward, but we don't kind of roll forward off the ball. That's where that kind of stability comes in. And then we roll up. Now, obviously, you guys are going to have bumps in the way, so you're going to be working on how far you can go. Now, if you want to, do a little backwards tilt of the pelvis as well. So when you kind of get to the bottom, just tuck the tailbone under, and that should accommodate the fact that bumps in the way, and obviously you can't get as low as I can. Let's work on that mobility. Work on that mobility just for a few, breathing as you want to, because the dizziness might come in here, so take your time. Those of you in shoulder bridge, level 1 or level 2, how do we feel about testing out level 3? Okay, let's do it. So you're going to roll to the top as before, making sure that backwards tilt is the starting movement. And now this time you keep on alternating leg extensions. You don't go down in between. You've got to keep the hips high. So we're stretching one leg at a time. Now you can always put your hands as fingertips onto your hip bones. Now the ball is there to try to keep the thighs in line. If you want to take level 3, but it's just a bit too much, you can always just drop the ball. You can still work on trying to keep the thighs in line. It might just make it a little bit easier to keep the hips level. If you're doing level 3, 6 more. Keep on going. Drop them to the floor and then do it again. If you are seated and want to go that one more stage, just in terms of mobility, once you've pulled forward, and then just that gentle breath to restack the vertebrae, float your hands up to the ceiling, and it will just kind of arch the upper back just softly, circle the arms down, reach back up, and then start again. So we're just kind of increasing the amount of mobility that you're doing through that spine. Because of course, if we can keep those legs really still, engage that pelvic floor, and make every vertebrae move kind of one piece at a time, to make it a really beautiful movement. Now, if you're on shoulder bridge level 3, lower yourself down and hug the knees into your chest. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, well done, guys. Tuck the chin into the chest, roll ourselves up. We're going to come to a seated position. If you are on the ball, you can stay there. We're actually going to do a bow and arrow again. We're going to go into a seated rollout, okay? So, seated on the ball, and anyone can do this on a chair. If your hips are feeling a bit niggly, just get a dining room chair and sit on that instead. So we're working the upper body now, so the legs can remain quite relaxed. You can, I like to put the ball in between your knees because it will stabilise you a little bit more. Seated or anywhere else is fine. And take your hands up, just a nice shoulder height again. Now the bow and arrow as before. So we pull back, we twist through the torso, initially just staying as tall as we can, and then reach back again. Breathing out to turn, breathing in to pull back. Now that in itself should be really difficult and almost just working the torso really hard. Those very much posture muscles. By keeping that healing balloon head lifted up to the ceiling, our back's working really hard. If you want the abs to work a little bit harder though, then a little bit harder if you need it. As you pull back, drop into a backwards tilt and just curve into a little half roll back. But the knees stay in that straight line. And then you still lift into that really tall position in between. So we're still breathing out to curl back and breathing in to lift. But of course, we're just doing a little bit more abdominal work. Keep on going. If you are seated, we're not going to get you to roll back because it's too much on that tummy. The bumps are going to be too much in the way, but we can do a little backwards tilt. So that tuck under as you twist, and then a straighten, almost that forwards tilt as you come back. Good. So tuck the tailbone under as you pull back, and then lift. Almost lift the tailbone up like that good waggy tail as you reach forward. Breathing out and breathing in. Now just keep on going, guys. No matter what level you're at, keep on going. Because again, it's that little endurance. It's really working that mobility through that torso, through that spine. Again, whichever level, whichever position you're in. And if you can do that roll back as well, my God, you're really going to be working those abdominal muscles. So especially those oblique muscles. Yeah, the ones that kind of nip in, give that little waistline. Yeah. Let's do 4 more. So again, that little bit of endurance. But again, remember, guys, if you need to, just do the turn. Not a problem. Just do the turn. While you're doing that 4th one, I'm just going to rest for a second.
okay, because hopefully you're feeling a little bit tired. We're near the end. We've got one more thing to do, and as I kind of promised, one last little bit on your wrists. Okay, so we're all going to go back to the mat if you're not already there, and we're going to go into a high kneel position. So please take your time to get here. Okay, don't rush yourself into this position. Now I've managed to do a really good idea now, get my skinniest mats for this one, so I'm going to fold it under, thus to save my kneecaps and have them in one place. That's a bit more cushioned. There we go, a bit more cushioned. So we're going to be in a high kneel position, feet hip distance apart. Okay, we're going to go for some high kneel leg work. Obviously, there's a lot on those wrists. So, in the line where your knee is, pop your hand down and then stick out the other leg. So first of all, we're just going to get comfy here. Now, it might be that you want to put like a block or a cushion underneath that wrist. It lifts you up and just makes it a little less pressure through the arm, okay? But you know, you can always rest on your sofa side, rest on the ball, really rest on your torso to be a little bit diagonal. Now with this bottom hip here, really easy to sink it back. Now everybody, I'm going to really get you to squeeze your bum cheeks, hand on hip, and then push that bottom hip forward, a little bit humpy, yeah? Hump forward. All right, roll the shoulders back and down. Really straighten out that leg, lock out that leg into a beautiful side leg, and we're just going to do 10 leg lifts. Lift the leg up, pause if you can, and then gently and very slowly lower it down. 9, pause, down. 8, pause, down. If you can't do the pause, doesn't matter. You may do a few more extras because you're missing the pause or not, either way. But let's just work on not moving anything else. We're pushing that bottom hip forward. We have lifted our belly up, away from the floor. Our neck is relaxed. And we're just not moving anything except for that neck. Last one. And then it's a very simple sit back. Beautiful. Now, no, it's mixed ability. That's definitely not beginners, but you know what? Let's just throw it in. Okay, up we go. Just going to go to the other side before we start our cool down. So, arm out, leg out. So the foot, the knee, the hip, everything's in a straight line. Before we lift the chest, push that bottom hip forward, lift that pelvic floor, engage the center, shoulders back and down, lift, pause, lower. 9, 8, 7, great guys, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, big pause. Can we keep it up there? Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Come on. And down. Okay. Ooh, okay. Ah, oh, fantastic, guys. Well done. Excellent, excellent. Honestly, let's go into our stretches. Okay, so we've done quite a lot through the hips, quite a lot through the hamstrings, so we're going to get them stretched out first. If we can, we're going to go to a little glute stretch in that kind of pigeon pose stretch, which is hooking from a 4-point kneel, one foot through and under the body, and straightening out the leg behind you. If that's too much on your knees, you just don't want to get in that position, you can lay on your back, get yourself a pillow for comfort, cross the leg over, and then just pull the other leg in with your hands. Or you can use the other leg as that little pivot. It doesn't matter. With regards to stretches, guys, there is no rule. Because everyone's skeleton is completely different, I don't mind if you're like standing on your head. If you feel a good stretch in your glutes, so in your hip, this area, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It's your stretch, okay? And let's go for one more. So inhale and exhale before we go to the other side. Really push into it. And then ease out. Untuck if you're in 4-point kneel. Hook through the other side, or just switch the legs over if you're laying on your back. Good. Good up. Should I say if you're seated, I apologise, if you're seated and need a variation, okay, then you can be cross-legged and lean forward, but you need a bit of stability. Just to make sure you don't fall off the ball. But you know what, on a chair, that stretch, that seated stretch there, no one really kind of goes away out of my physio room without that stretch really, as like a day-to-day one. We all sit down too much anyway. All right, ease it off there. So everybody go to 4.0 if you aren't already. Tuck your toes under and give your toes a little stretch off. So literally just pushing through those toes, nothing more, nothing too crazy. Then rock the weight back on those heels. You have the knees wide if you need to accommodate anything that's in the way, and press both of those heels towards the floor. Again, just like you're giving yourself a little bit of a calf stretch. Again, nothing too crazy, but you should feel that really nice stretch up the back of those calves. Drop the chin down and then just roll yourself up. Got that nice little forward bend. And again, it's all about taking your time, no dizziness, please. I'm not in the room with you. Pull those shoulders back and down. Bring the hands onto your hips. Lovely and tall. Pigeon step forward, 1 foot. Bend the back knee. Sit back and then just kind of fold yourself in the middle, but keep your back straight. Because actually what I'd like you to do now, leave that front toe on the floor, please, is forwards tilt your pelvis. So arch the lower back, stick your bum in the air. You're taking where the hamstring attaches in the bony of your sit bone, you're lifting that sit bone up towards the ceiling, and it should just give you that really beautiful stretch up the hamstrings. Engage the centre, lower ourselves down really far into that stretch, as much as we comfortably can. Hold for a couple more seconds, and then gently ease up. Really nice, okay. Pigeon step the other side. Bend that back knee. Hinge in the middle. Lift the tailbone, lift that belly button, and drop down. Now lift, lift, lift that tailbone. Forwards tilt, forwards tilt, forwards tilt. Fantastic, guys, well done. Squeeze that sit bone, lift, and then just shake it off. Okay, very, very good. Okay, feet touching, toes out, heels out. 2 shoulder rolls, 1, 2, nice. 2 full arm circles, guys, 1 and 2. Nice. 2 mermaid stretches, just to have fluid. Just keep it nice and relaxed, nice. 2 dumb waiters, pull those shoulders back, 1. Set the center, 2. Into Cleopatra, 1. All the way in. 2. Palms facing together. Capital Y stretch, 1. 2. And then take the hands to the ceiling. Shrug one shoulder up. Drop one shoulder down. Other shoulder up and down. 2. 1. Both shoulders, breathe in and out. Shoulders up to your earlobes, and then shoulders as far away from the earlobes as you can. Turn the palms away from each other. Huge circle, hands on hips. Float one knee up and forward. Switch over. 10, 9. Now draw the centre in. 7. Shoulders back and down. 6. Lengthen through the back of the neck. 5. Engage that pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1. Both heels down. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Draw that chin in. Bring those back passage muscles up. Lift the I need a wee muscles up. Try to draw that belly button towards your spine. Open the collarbones nice and wide. Gentle breath in. Gentle breath out. And relax. And gives a little happy roll in the rooms and bedrooms and kitchens. And thank you so much, guys.